Let's see. Good job, babe. Good job. All right. We will see what happens. Okay, guys. So you met my husband. That was Matt. That was Mr. Matt Bellion. What does it look like, babe?
It's working now. We
Awesome.
have 4 people. Susan Rivera is on.
Awesome. Okay, so those of you that are on Facebook, all I did was put my affiliate link up there. Sorry, I didn't give any type of introduction. All right, so let's get busy.
Tracey says she's sold. Oh, good.
Good job, babe. Good job. So this dresser right here is from a longtime friend of my daughter's, my oldest daughter, my daughter that's in her 30s. Her girlfriend that she's had forever, it's local. She's local. She is finally going to be having her own baby instead of being the cheerleader for all of her friends who've had lots of babies over the last few years. So we're so thrilled for her and her family. It's been a long time coming, a lot of patience, a lot of prayers, and we could not be happier for them. This dresser has been in Jessica's family since she was a kid. She said this dresser went to Germany with them and back, and she's had it, and it will be going in their baby nursery, and it is such an honor to work on it with her. It's such an honor to see her nursery come together, and so I love the opportunity to be able to do this. So it's not just that I love to paint furniture, and Dixie Belle makes it so easy to do, but it's really an honor to get to work with people on pieces that are special to them.
Her mom's on.
Julie? Julie, you're on! Yay! We're gonna work on your dresser just a little bit, but I'm gonna talk to everyone about paint color. So Jessica sent me some paint swatches that she had picked up at Home Depot, yes, big box store, and they were Sherwin-Williams colors. We have this happen all the time, right? Sherwin-Williams is your typical latex wall paint, and she had colors chosen. And so what I have those people do is I have a Sherwin-Williams fan deck, and I try my best to match it to my Dixie Belle colors. So one of the colors that she gave me was called Still Water by Sherwin-Williams. And this is it right here. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's the very bottom color. This very deep blue, as you can see right here. So my favorite blue in the deep blues of Dixie Belle is Antebellum Blue. I absolutely love it. This is it right here. It's blue that leans a little bit towards, I don't want to say teal because you're going to think bright, but it's not. This is what color it is. It's gorgeous. So I knew that this was in the right family, but this color, Still Water, is very dark, almost like a black. So what I did was I have toned down all of the colors that Jessica gave me. So I mixed in, and Matt, will you hold this up so they can see the square right in front of the camera? You'll see a brighter blue dot, and then over here off to the side, put your finger by that, you'll see that darker blue dot. That's the mix that I was able to come up with Dixie Belle paint. And
there we go.
Yeah, all I did was add
The bottom one? With
the one
dot?
that you can barely see the dot because it's such a good match. That one, that dot.
This one.
Yes.
Oops, sorry guys.
Such a good match, right? So all I did was I added some coffee bean to it. I added our coffee bean. So this is what I did. She's going with sort of like a mod, retro, rustic vibe. I don't even know if that makes sense, all of those colors together. But this right here is Colonel Mustard Yellow, the bright dot. You see the bright dot? Well, I added some coffee bean and I was able to tone that color down, and this is real fancy. Isn't this fancy, you guys? So I took Colonel Mustard, which is this really bold, brighter yellow like this, and I added a little bit of coffee bean to it, and I made it dark like this. And that's more of the tone she's looking for. Do you see what I mean when I say like retro vibe? You know the retro colors that have that mustard color and the rust, kind of, was that like late 70s, early 80s, lots of geometric patterns like the rainbow swoop or the sun or the, you know, the stripes. Is it the 70s? And then also with the rust color right here, I used our rusty nail. I went with rusty nail, not rustic red. I went with rusty nail, and I added some coffee bean to it as well. And I came up with this really cool, deep rust tone. Then I took Evergreen, which is just your straight up like pine tree green color, and I added coffee bean to it as well, and I came up with this really deep, rich green as well. So then she also was using a black green color, and I'm going with this right here, which is straight up collard greens. That's our collard green. It was a spot on match for one of the Sherwin-Williams colors. Collard green was it. So this is the color palette of this dresser. So what we're gonna do tonight, you can see that this took me, I was out here for a little bit today, so I just don't want you to be discouraged. If you are trying to color match, I promise you, you can come up with it. On a scrap, if I can do this on a scrap piece of paper with a little bit of paint and a stir stick, you can do it too. It's quite easy. All I did was tone down all of the colors with coffee bean. Okay, so let me show you what I do. I went ahead and took all the hardware off, and then I sprayed it down with white lightning. I put my tarp underneath it so it doesn't mess up my floor. I sprayed it down with white lightning, wiped it all down. Lots of bleed through coming from this dresser, y'all, a lot. So I'm glad we're going with dark colors, because if I were going light, I'd have to prime it for sure. We would need Boss primer for sure. So then I sprayed it down with water, because you want to make sure that you get your white lightning wiped off really well. Otherwise, you may jack up your adherence with your paint to the dresser if you've left white lightning on the surface. So I sprayed it down with water, and again wiped it off with paper towels, and I still had a lot of bleed through coming through. So again, if I were going to go with any of the lighter colors at all, I would want to use Boss. I'd use Boss white or probably gray. I mean, it's a bleeder for sure, but we are going with all deep dark tones, and I don't think that we're gonna have an issue with bleed through. So I've already done the top, the top I did today, but I want to go through this with you. Like, what do I do? I've never taken drawers out in front of you guys over the 3+ years that we've been going live. I'm like, well, I usually already have it done. A lot of times I just start painting, right? I just start painting. Well, and then you'll say, well, wait, do you take the drawers out? No, normally I don't. I just open them enough that I get the top of it and I can kind of get in between. But this finish that I'm going to be doing, the plan that I have, it's very geometric and it's very clean and smooth. So I want to make sure that I don't have any buildup anywhere at all. It's going to be a super clean finish, and I just want my drawers out to begin with. So don't have to take them out in any certain order, but what I do is I just remove them. I'm just going to see if the brand was in here. And then I take a marker. This is just a Sharpie marker, and I mark what drawer this is. And it depends on you. I mark it based on if I'm looking at it. So if I'm looking at the dresser, am I doing it's the left top drawer, or you can do it anatomically speaking. That's the nurse in me. So I go ahead and mark. You can mark anywhere on the back side, underneath the drawer if you want. So this one is going to be left top. So I just put LT, left top. So that's drawer number 1. Matt, if you want to take these from me. And then this one right here, I'm going to mark on the back. I'm going to put middle top, MT. And then I just stack these somewhere else. And because I'm going to just do a solid color, I'm not blending. There's no blending. I'm not doing any artwork right now that the drawers need to stay in place. But I do want to mark my drawers, because if you've done any painting at all, especially on vintage pieces, you know that the drawers, they don't mix up. They need to stay in their exact hole that they were meant for. So this one is, I'm going to write on the bottom here, this is the right top. So I'm going to mark RT. That's right top. So really, I used to take all of my drawers out of my dressers. But when blending became so popular, you really need your drawers to be in your dresser. So I quit removing them. So this one is left middle. There's top, middle, and bottom. So I'm going to put left middle, LM. And this one is left bottom. So like I said, it's been a while since I've removed drawers, but I just really want to make sure that I've got a super, super clean finish on this. Then I will be putting them back in after all the drawers are painted, the base color, and after the body is painted, the base color. I will be putting my drawers back in because I am doing a geometric design on this. Does anyone want to guess what that is? Matt can't even read the comments right now because I've got him busy. Okay, so this middle row here, I'm going to put left center middle is what I'm going to put. So it's the left drawer of the center on the middle row. So left, center, middle.
You gonna remember that?
Yes, of course I'm gonna remember that. And this one is right, center, middle. Okay, y'all be guessing what geometric pattern you think I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna be doing like retro, kind of urban, a little bit of rustic. Okay, this is right, middle. Right, middle. Thank you, babe, for stacking these for me. And the very last one is right bottom. Now, I haven't had the drawers out of this piece yet. Right bottom. So, I will tell you by looking at it, it's actually pretty clean. It does not have, this is like, I don't know what you call this, some kind of particle board or, you know, cardboard or something in the middle. But I will vacuum this out really well. I'll get in there and vacuum it out and wipe it down with a microfiber cloth. And then I will run some of the Big Mama's butter on the drawer tracks, and I'll also do the bottom of the tracks on the drawers, and that gives like a really nice glide. Plus, if you use the scented Big Mama's butter, like the Suzanne's Garden or the citrus one, it leaves a really, really, really nice smell. And it may, anywhere wood touches wood, if you use some of that conditioner, the butter, it is really, really makes a big difference. Okay, so did anyone have any guesses? What geometric pattern?
Zigzag.
Zigzag. I haven't done zigzag in a long time. Okay, this is my little mixing bowl right here. And this is my color. It's very, very deepened antebellum color.
Stripes.
Stripes? Nope, I'm not doing stripes, and I'm not doing zigzag. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more coffee bean to this. When I did this up here, it was still a little brighter than I wanted it to be. So I'm gonna add a little bit more coffee bean. But I will tell you, you don't have to add dark colors to your paint to deepen the tone of your paint if you don't want to. If mixing colors makes you nervous, you can always just paint your vibrant color and then go back and wax with either black wax or brown wax or even one of the Voodoo gel stains. You can put it over the top. You can glaze it, make a glaze with the black glaze and add a little bit of Voodoo gel stain to that. And that will also deepen your tone as well.
Octagons.
You know what, babe? Would you get me another bowl? This has some paint on the bottom that's chipping. Will you get me one of those little bowls that are over there?
Sure.
Do you mind?
Let me finish.
Octagons. No, I'm not doing any octagons.
You
Okay,
can
I'll
do
give
that.
y'all a hint. I'm going to give you a hint while he's getting me another bowl to move my paint over into. This bowl had some white paint in the bottom of it, and it's kind of coming loose. Yeah, that'll work. Look at this pretty bowl. Isn't that pretty? Put it in that pretty bowl. I've done this pattern a lot. I'll say
Checks.
that. No, I knew someone was going to say that. No, it's not checks. That would be
Chevron.
very whimsical.
Chevron.
No. I have done it a lot.
Diamonds.
No, that's Harlequin. No.
Triangles.
I wonder if someone's going to guess. I actually have a post ready.
Circles.
Are you doing that or are they doing that?
Rainbows.
I do love the rainbow. I really do. Here you go, babe. Thank you. Okay, so this isn't going to be enough paint for the dresser, but that's all right. It'll do the body here so you guys can see it. All right, I'm going to tell y'all. It is a sunburst pattern, y'all. I'm going to be doing a sunburst pattern. So y'all have seen it a lot. Think about, let me think. Oh, how about like my Maryland headboard? My Maryland headboard, who's familiar with my Maryland headboard? Remember the black and white sunburst pattern behind that? Also, what else was there?
You can sand this first.
No. So if you are new to the Dixie Belle page, you will see that we don't sand very often here. If you're using a good quality chalk paint like Dixie Belle paint, you really don't need to sand. Your surface is of course only as good as the surface that you are starting with, but this surface is extremely intact. It does not need to be sanded. It just needs to be wiped down really well, and then you can start painting. That's the beauty. I had a paintbrush, babe. Do you see it? That is the beauty.
So Starburst is your final answer.
It's like a sunburst.
Or Sunburst.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not necessarily a sun, but the
Candy.
burst pattern. So think about, okay, here we go. Here's the color. See that? It's just a deeper, darker tone of Antebellum Blue. And I don't have my mister bottle right here. Can you hand me that, babe? I want to make sure that my surface is really, really smooth. So you don't have to mist it with water, but if you add just a tiny bit of water, you really, really cut down to almost completely minimal brush strokes. And I really should have wiped down the inside of these drawers. Actually, if Matt will give me I would have. A what? An earring? Yeah, this needs to be dusted down. I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. I'll do it better later, but for right now, just so I can paint this edge, I want to wipe off the dust out of this because I just don't want that getting mixed into the paint. It honestly wouldn't hurt anything. Sometimes you add dust and see, that's just dust. Sometimes people add actual ash and dust to their paint to give it texture, so it's not like it would hurt it. But
what color is your Sunburst going to be? And do you need to slick stick it?
No, I do not need to slick stick this dresser. You very rarely need to slick stick wood. Very, very rarely. And the color of the Sunburst is going to be that color palette that I showed you on that fancy, super fancy scrap paper. I'll show you again. And I really don't know, guys. It's not like I don't draw my pieces out beforehand for the most part. And Jessica completely trusts me. This is our pattern. Now, I don't want you to think it's going to be like psychedelic and a lot of stripes, but these are going to be this is the color palette of the overall dresser. Right now, we're painting this color right here. So if I get this on here and it appears too bright, I will just go back and do a black wax over it. Black wax or a black voodoo gel stain.
Julie says that's a solid cherry American Drew piece of furniture.
Oh, gotcha. It is American Drew. You're right. We were trying to remember what the name of it. It's inside one of the drawers.
Ambrosie wanted to know, is this Antebellum Blue? I think it is.
This is Antebellum Blue that has been deepened. It's been deepened. It's almost 50-50 with coffee bean.
Did you use White Lightning on this?
Yes, I've used White Lightning. I sure did.
Okay.
I did. And it had a lot of bleed through. Like Julie said, it's cherry. So yeah, no wonder it's bleeding. I'm terrible about my woods. I don't really know my woods very well.
Angela loves your colors.
Yeah, right? So don't you feel like they're like really vintage? She found this metal sign, a huge metal sign when she was in, I think in Waco. I think they went, it wasn't Waco, maybe Fort Worth. And they were in Fort Worth. She found an old vintage sign that's metal. And I think it says, what does it say? I don't remember what it says. It was like a gas station sign. It's a little boy, by the way, a little boy. And she's gonna hang that sign above the dresser. So I kind of pulled some of my colors, not only from what she gave me, but from that as well, that vintage sign.
Fort Worth.
Yeah, it was Fort Worth. That's right. Is that Julie still?
It's Jessica.
Oh, Jessica's on! Everybody tell Jessica congratulations. What do you think about this color, Jess? You think it needs to be a little bit deeper? This is the still water. I mixed it with a lot of coffee bean.
Yeah, Brittany says Antebellum takes quite a bit of paint to darken up.
Yes, it does, because this is 50-50, so it was really holding its own. I mean, coffee bean is like black-brown, so Antebellum does not mess around. It's a highly pigmented color, that's for sure.
What would you say is the best paint stripper out there?
Paint stripper? God, we very rarely use paint stripper. I've really only used Citrus Strip, right?
And that Old English made a furniture stripper that I've used.
Oh, I haven't used that. But I know that, but I'm not a big paint stripper. So I know that some of the other brand ambassadors have their favorite as well. Anyone else want to share their favorite paint stripper? What are you stripping? Something that's got a lot of layers of paint that just needs to come off? Okay, so notice this, you guys. when you are painting areas like this, sometimes I'll have, you see a little small brush maybe in that bucket up there? Sometimes I'll have a little small brush. Sometimes I just use my finger. But I'll have a little small brush just like this near me, like this. Sometimes it's just my finger and a paper towel. But you want to take it and you want to do like this, because you don't want to leave any thick paint in those corners. So you want to be sure, you know, you got your little brush here, that you just pull that paint out of those corners. It's almost impossible not to get a buildup there. It's literally almost impossible, because your bristles are just going to go over that edge. So be sure you, you know, it's like babysitting drips. You don't want to have any drips anywhere. And I'm going to get back there and make sure you got that.
Barry Cobb says she's like you, no stripping furniture out there.
Yeah. I'm not, if it needs to be stripped, I'm just probably not going to buy it, or I'm going to tell someone I don't want to do it.
Connie Linhoff loves your color.
Connie, hi sweetie. Hi there. Okay, so let me move over a little bit to the other side so I can get this side done, and we will have this side done. And then we're gonna work on a little teapot set, you guys, because I got an order today for, not today, but I got an order, well, kind of today. I was told today of an idea that they wanted to do a teapot set that really made me happy. So we're gonna work on that. Get my, want me to do the splits here?
Jamie says it's gorgeous.
It is really pretty, isn't it? Who said that?
Let me get back. Jamie Halfley Rogers.
Nice, thank you. Is Dixie Belle on?
I haven't seen him,
No?
but I don't have my glasses, so.
Dixie Belle, are you with us tonight?
Maybe
Has
a little
anyone seen
slow on
Dixie
the
Belle
tape.
commenting? I would love to know if they are on.
Zan says she loves the color. I think people are digging the color.
So do I. I really like it. I mean, it would be really pretty to just be solid like this, but Jess is fun. She's really fun, and I really think that the dresser we could spice it up, add a little personality to it.
Kelly wants to know, if you were to do a top coat that's more durable than wax, what would you use?
Oh, my favorite. I personally would use gator hide. Gator hide gets a lot of bad rap from people because it is definitely has a learning curve, but I love gator hide. It's the hardiest top coat that we have. But our satin top coat is also really hardy. So yeah. In fact, I very rarely use wax. I use wax to add color. I use wax to deepen things, to shadow and shade, but I don't use wax. I very rarely use wax as my top coat on purpose.
Dixie Belle is here, and
Hey. Hello, Dixie Belle, whoever you are that's with me tonight. I never look. Thank you for being here.
easy strips work, non-toxic, works really well.
Oh, good. Someone else said that.
Debbie Kirkwood Thompson.
Oh, hey, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. All right, last little spritz here. Nice and smooth.
Yeah,
So-
I've never noticed an odor with Dixie Belle. Have you?
An odor of the paint?
Yes.
No, not at all. No odor. Dixie Belle is no VOCs. It's a safe, non-toxic paint, which is very important to me because I have an autoimmune disease that affects my liver, or it's in my liver, and so I'm super picky about what I'm going to expose my body to, and I am in paint all day, every day, and that's really important to me. So yeah, a very safe paint.
Mary Jo wants to know, do the brushes you use really matter? She never seems to be able to get as much coverage as quickly as you do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, who said that? Mary Jo. Mary Jo. I should get Matt to answer that question. You should come around here, babe, and answer that question. Come around here so she can see the
I'm gonna have
sincerity.
to move lights and everything.
Come tell him. Come on, because you're the best.
About the brushes?
Yes. Yeah. Tell him.
I like the brushes because I'm usually the one that's cleaning the brushes. So they clean a little bit easier than a lot of the other paints, but these in particular and the red ones, what are the red ones called? Silk brushes?
No, that's what this is. That's
no,
what.
For the silk paint, the red wide brush.
Oh, the pixie brush.
Pixie brush, those are really good too. But yeah, they hold a lot of paint, so you're not constantly dipping. They don't drip, and you get a lot of good smooth coverage, and they don't shed much.
And you didn't believe that. You didn't think it was you thought it was
No,
a sales
I always
gimmick.
buy cheap paint brushes and throw them away.
All these years, because we do a lot of DIY together. Long before Dixie Belle and I became a thing, Matt and I've done DIY forever, and he always bought cheap brushes, which I was fine with that too. And then I started painting furniture before Dixie Belle, and I bought, you know, I always use this one certain brush, and we bought them by the buttloads all the time. And it was the little shorty handle brush, right? And it's called Shorty, I think. And they're like $5 or something like that, but they just don't hold up as well. These brushes are made for chalk mineral paint. They are made to hold. This is a heavy paint. The paint's very heavy. It's much more dense than a regular paint. So they are handmade, by the way, and they are designed. Every single bristle is specifically designed to hold a lot of weight and deliver your paint really well and smoothly, so that you don't have brush strokes. So we call these a synthetic bristle. It's not a natural bristle. It's a synthetic bristle, and it's got a tapered edge, which leaves minimal brush strokes, and it delivers a lot of paint. And then it also works really, really well with water. They don't drag. So yeah, he was pretty sold on them when Dixie Belle started carrying them. He was like, wow, I never believed a quality brush would make a difference, and it really, really does. My example that I always use is watercolor. If you've ever tried a watercolor brush, or you've tried to watercolor paint on paper without a watercolor brush, and then you try watercolor paint on paper with a watercolor brush, makes all the difference in the world. A watercolor brush is designed to carry a lot of water. Makes a huge difference. These are designed to carry the weight of our paint. Big difference.
Okay, so
beautiful color.
Jamie Hafley Rogers says, I am new. I used gator hide on chalk paint piece. It turned super dark, not a chalk paint color. What did I do wrong?
Was it Dixie Belle paint?
She said it was gator hide. Oh, yeah.
It was gator hide, but I don't know necessarily that it was Dixie Belle's paint. If it was actually like gator hide over, if you were using like just a mineral based paint, gator hide will darken that paint. Gator hide is made specifically to go over the chalk mineral paint, and it won't darken your paint. It brings it to life. Like if I were to put gator hide on this after it dries, you can see the wet here and the dry over here. It gets a little, I call it lifeless by itself, but some people really like this. It's very, very flat, very flat. I prefer this richer look. So if you put gator hide over this, it brings it back to life as if it were wet, and it keeps that look. And I love that. It's not shiny, but it brings the richness back in. So, but I do have experience trying to use gator hide over another type of paint that's just a straight mineral paint, and it does make it super dark. So that's the problem with mixing products. You know, sometimes they mix well, sometimes products play well with each other, and sometimes brands play well with each other, and sometimes brands don't play well with each other. So that's that. Okay, so Matt, will you hand me, we're gonna stop on this, okay? We're gonna stop. I am going to bring this tea set out because I wanna show y'all this amazing tea set that I found and tell you who, and a longtime online friend of mine. Her name is Pat, and Salvaged Souls in Iowa is the name of her shop. And she's been a longtime friend of mine online, and I just love her to death. Anyway, she's really been wanting me to do a tea set for her, which is crazy because she knows how to paint beautifully, but she just wants me to do it. So this tea set, I really wasn't sure I wanted to sell it. I found it online, and it's the coolest tea set that I've ever found out of all the ones that we bought, which is a lot. How amazing is this? Isn't this awesome? Guys, it's not flat round. It's those stripes that you see are the bend in the metal. So it literally has like built-in stripes, which is crazy because stripes is kind of my thing. So is that not amazing? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And then the creamer and sugar are huge. Look how big they are. They're so big. And then they have this beautiful beaded, what do you call that, beaded lip around all of the edges. So I hadn't decided if I wanted to let it go or not, but I said, if you want it, she had wished she had bought my Latin Whimsy buffet that I just posted this past week. I said, I still have that tea set you liked if you're interested. So anyway, she said yes. So guess what? We are not doing Alice. We are not going Alice, which is so funny that we just looked at these colors for Jessica's dresser. We went with these more I'm going to call these earthy colors, like very earth colors, which is not my thing. My thing is usually pinks and, you know, turquoise and purples and black and white. These are very earth tones. Well, we're going to go very sort of earth tone with this as well. And she wants steampunk. So we are going to be using a steampunk transfer. Normally I use the Alice in Wonderland transfers on all the tea sets. But actually I'm sharing one tomorrow, a tea set that doesn't have a transfer on it. But she does want a transfer and she wants to go with the steampunk. And I am thrilled because I haven't used this yet on anything other than an apron. I actually did this on an apron. So I haven't really decided how I'm gonna do this. This dude is a little too big. This is his face. But I know there's a smaller face, I believe. But I don't think I'll use the face. Now the black and white face might be kind of cool, but I do like all of the gears. I like the gears. Here's the smaller one. This might be kind of cool. But let me tell you what color she wants. The hat would be really cool. Maybe on this sugar and the creamer. Lots of gears. And then of course we have the pipes as well. So these are the colors that she wants, y'all. She wants Gravel Road. Here's our earth tones again. Gravel Road and Terracotta, she said, are her favorite colors. And then I really felt like it needed some depth as well, so I went ahead and pulled Rusty Nail off the shelf. So I'll be going with these colors. She also likes drop cloth. And then I have to throw some black and white in there. So I'll be using Caviar and drop cloth together. So this will be my black and white. And then I'll be using these colors right here. We'll be using the steampunk transfer on that tea set and that tray. What do y'all think? What do they think, baby?
There's a little delay. I'm behind in some questions. I believe the Dixie Belle looks like they've answered them. Thank you.
Okay, good.
So it's moving things around and I can't see tonight. Talk about cleaning brushes. What's the secret? What is that, a little scrubby?
Yes, the scrubby soaps, they're actually over there in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and open up my slick stick and start working on this tea set for you guys if y'all have any questions about that as well. And then Matt will they're in the left lower corner, babe. Low. Baby, look at my face. In the far corner.
Oh.
Yes. Look at my face, hon. Look at my face. I need you to open my slick stick. Slick stick doesn't mess around.
The scrubby. This thing is like magic.
So let me show you. Let me do it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a relatively new brush. This is what the new brushes look like. This is the flat small, and this is my favorite brush, which is the flat medium. And you can see the difference between Tracey, who's used this brush 1,000 times, and this one, and they last forever. I've never ever thrown one of my Dixie Belle brushes away because they wash up so beautifully. So these little scrubby soaps are amazing. I don't know. I think they have coconut oil in them. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But they're amazing.
Citrus too.
They smell so good. So I just leave it in the plastic thing and let it sit right by my sink, just like this. And it is soap on one side with an exposed sponge on the other. I'm sure you guys have seen soaps like this before. Scrubby on one side, soap on the other. And I just leave it where the scrubby part's up and I just turn it on and I say Matt does it as well. You just take your brush and you just scrub, just like this, with my paint. I just scrub it and then I put the soap down and I do it in the palm of my hand. I should video this one time. I just do it in the palm of my hand like this. And then I run it under the water and I do it some more in the palm of my hand. And then if it's a brush that's had dried paint on it a little bit, you can use a lice brush, a little tiny lice brush, or the brush that you get for dogs when you're doing around their nose and their mouth, the little tiny combs, not lice brush, a lice comb, or those little dog grooming combs, and you just get it really good and wet like this with your scrubby soap, and then you just run those little combs through there and dry them, and they just dry up beautifully. They don't splay out over time at all. You got my slick stick open, babe? Awesome. Okay, so, oh, you did? You didn't. Okay, so any other question, babe, that you wanted to?
Not yet.
All right. So I'm going to start with the screwdriver.
I'm working on it.
Well, I can't read comments while you're gone.
Do you want a screwdriver?
No, I want to open that thing.
Oh, I'm working on it. Hang on. Keep talking.
So I really like the Dixie Belle Premium chip brushes, but I don't know if they're in stock, but that's what I really like to put my first layer of Slick Stick on my sets, my silver sets. But I'm out. I have no more of the premium chip brushes. Someone let me know if they're in stock. I have also put my link, not on Instagram yet, but on Facebook, I have put my link at the top of this video. It says shop for your products with my link here. Hit that link, you guys, if you want to go shopping or check anything out or purchase anything. Dixie Belle is so kind to give us Dixie Belle brand ambassadors a kickback for those that purchase online and have it delivered to your door. But anyway, I usually use the premium chip brush, but tonight I'm going to use this flat small. So I usually just sit at my at my table while my family's watching TV. I have a workshop table out here. I'm not usually sitting on the floor, and I'm not usually holding this up like this. I just have it sitting like this on the table. And I just pounce on my first layer like this. Now, you don't have to pounce, but I like doing this because first of all, you get a lot of coverage, plus you have less brush strokes. But it gives me a little bit of texture, and I feel like, I don't know, I just really like it. It's how I do my gumball machines, and it's how I do my teapots.
Have you ever tried to patina one of those tea sets?
No, it would make me really nervous. Did someone ask that?
Yes.
So I think it would continue to corrode. We do have the patina. We do have the patina guard, which you put on first on anything that is metal, and it will keep the corrosion from going all the way through to the metal. Because if you don't use that and you use any of the patina, which I love the patina line, love it. But I'm afraid it would mess up my teapot. I don't know. It would be fine if it was like a tin metal bucket or something like that, but a tea set I feel a little differently about. So that's that. I just do this. So you'll put on one coat of Slick Stick, and you need to let it dry overnight, for sure. You need to let it dry a good, 10, 12, 24 hours, something like that. And then come back the next day and do a second set of Slick Stick. It's imperative that you follow those directions because, like I said, your final product is only as good as the foundation that you start with. Even on a painted piece, if you've got a dresser that's chipping and peeling, you're gonna have to fix your foundation before you can paint it. If you are working on slick metal and you want your paint to stick and you want this teapot to last as an heirloom for someone, you need to prep your surface really well. And Slick Stick makes that possible, but you need to follow the directions. So 2 coats, 24 hours apart. 1 coat, come back the next day, put your second coat on, and then you need to let that second coat dry for 4 to 6 hours or so. Let it get good and dry, and then your teapot will be ready to start applying color in however your heart desires. So I go ahead and I do all my color work on my teapot sets, and then my transfers are the last thing that I do. And then sometimes I'll go back in and shade around my transfers a little bit. But the transfers, you need to make sure that your tea set is completely dry before you start applying a transfer. The transfers are amazing. They are amazing. They do not tear, they stretch, they bend, they don't rip, but they are not going to stick to something that's not fully dry. And if you're having problems getting them to stick, it's probably because you are rushing and you've got some moisture still in your paint. Okay. Anything else? What time is it? Whew, almost time to go. We've done 45 minutes. Any other questions, babe?
No question.
Really?
No questions. Just says, keep saying so-and-so is watching.
I know. Who are they saying? Who's Facebook telling us over and over is watching tonight?
Denise Doolin has popped up several times.
For some reason, guys, Facebook on the lives now have started throwing it picks like one person, and it'll throw it out over and over that so-and-so's watching, so-and-so's watching.
We do have a question. Karina wants to know if you can use the tea set after painting.
Yes, I think so. I don't know why not. You just would need to make sure that nothing gets on the inside where your tea is going to pour. So if this set, I don't think that Pat's planning to use this set, But was she on tonight, by the way?
Baby, I can't see
Yeah,
tonight.
he doesn't have his glasses, y'all. He left his glasses at work, and he's like really struggling to see. So if this set were going to be used, you just want to make sure you don't get anything on the inside, and then I also am really careful not to paint anything at all where the spout is. I make sure that it ends right there. Same thing with these. I don't paint the insides of mine. A lot of people just use these to display, and they don't like how the silver looks on the inside, and so they've painted them gold. We accent with a lot of gold on these, and they just put gold on the inside because they have no plans to use them. But yeah, some of the sets I've sold, they were definitely planning to use them. So that's that. That's how I do that. I'll do the lid. I'll do all the pieces. I do the entire tray just like that, and I'll let this dry overnight, and I'll come back tomorrow and put another coat of Slick Stick on, and then I'll start applying my color, and then I'll start playing around with my Steampunk transfers and decide what I'm going to do. So that's that. You'll see that coming down the pipeline. Yeah.
All right, Cecilia wanted to know if you've ever spilt paint on the carpet in your car. I'm wondering if you've have any idea how to clean after that is dried.
Oh, no, I have not.
It's gonna be a tough one.
That is tough. I mean, the paint is, as long as you get to it within like 24 hours, the paint reactivates really easily within that first 24 hours. But if you miss that 24-hour window, it doesn't. But in that first 24 hours, you should be able to kind of hose it out, and it washes out.
Maybe a scrubby pad.
Yeah, something scrubby and a lot of water, and just keep sucking it out and sucking it out. You should be able to do that, but after 24 hours, you're probably not going to be able to do that. I'm assuming it didn't just happen today. I'm sorry. Paint the rest of it.
Scissors, maybe?
I don't know. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching. I do love this color. I love the deeper blue. So I may add, I think I may add for the second coat, I'm probably going to add some more coffee bean to it. I think I want it to be a little bit darker. Where's this? See, that to me is still darker. Does that look darker?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a little bit darker. I want it to be like that. So I'm probably gonna add a little bit more coffee bean to it. Would you stop?
Well,
Stop, Clem. I'm gonna call you Clem. I'm gonna call him his dad. His dad's always like this. That's what he keeps doing to me. Stop. We're good. The next person doesn't come on until on the hour.
Oh, I thought it was a quarter till.
No, on the hour.
Oh, okay.
We're good. Okay. Anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful Wednesday night. I am going to hop over to my Facebook page, spend about 20 minutes probably working on this tea set a little bit more, or maybe even mix a little bit more of the blue. I would love it if you guys would follow me on Tracey's Fancy. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram. Thank you for being here on Dixie Belle's page. Dixie Belle, thank you as always for having me and your fabulous product, and I just love using it every single day.
Dixie
It's a
Belle says
real
thank
love
you.
affair, I'm telling you. We'll see you guys soon, okay? Thank you for being here.
Bye,
Talk to y'all
guys.
later. Bye-bye.